Hi everybody, Miss Ashley here with another cooking video, and this is going to be from our Super Skills How to Cook in 10 Easy Lessons children's cookbook, and I am flipping to page number 46, and we are on chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, who doesn't like chocolate chip cookies? I love chocolate chip cookies. So you're going to need your ingredients. And just like last time, I'm going to link the ingredients down below, so don't worry about this. You're also going to need your cooking instruments, which I have right here. So the first thing you need to do is wash your hands. So mine are clean, so I am okay to begin. The second thing that you need to do is you need to preheat your oven. So I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees, so she's ready to go. The next thing you need to do is you need to take your pan here, your little cookie pan, and you just need to grease it a little bit. So I just take my little pan spray. You can also just use butter, or you can put down parchment paper, but I'm just gonna go super simple and use pan. So just give it a light spray, and then get it out of your way. So we're moving this party train on now. The next thing that we need to do is we need to take some butter here. So this recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of butter. So what I like to do, kids, is I like to get these like butter logs because they actually have the measurements written on them already. So it makes it really easy to figure out. And if you're like me, I like things to be kind of quick and easy. So a 1/4 cup, it just goes from here to here. So we're going to just cut it, or so that's a 1/4 cup. Now you want this butter to be room temperature, so I had this butter sitting out for about half an hour or so. That way it gets nice and malleable. It's a fun word, eh? Malleable. So we're gonna take our butter, take our sharp knife, and we're gonna just slice it into little cubes here. That makes it easy to put into our bowl. So just slice her up, and gotta be fancy or even. And then we're gonna just chuck it into this bowl here, this nice big mixing bowl. All right, get in there. Okay, move that aside. So then what goes into this bowl with the butter is our sugar, and we are going to need to have about 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar or light brown sugar. I happen to prefer dark, that's just my personal taste. So plop that in there. And you need the same amount of white sugar. So just take your 1/2 cup, level her off, and plop it in, just like that. Just like that. And then we need to cream this until it's nice and fluffy. So what you're going to need to have, kids, is something that looks like a hand mixer, okay? So we're gonna take our little hand mixer. Let me just move my tray over. We're gonna just cream it together. Okay, so now that your butter and your sugar is properly mixed together, you have to add an egg. So just crack the egg into the bowl like that, and then just toss your egg. And then it also calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So get your 1 teaspoon, little measuring spoon. Take your vanilla extract here. I love the smell of this stuff. I would just take a bath in this if I could. And then plop that in. That, put your lid back on. Now we're just gonna stir this all together. Double toil and trouble. Cauldron burn. Fire bubble. Alright, look, see. Look at that. We're making some soup. Soup. Get it all nice and stirred together. And then once this reaches a pretty smooth consistency, we're going to add the best part of the chocolate chips. So Just give it a stir, whip it up. You can use the electric beater, but I find that just it's gonna make a big mess. So I'm doing this the old-fashioned way, plus it's also like my arm workout for the day, you know, workout. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we're going to take a cup of chocolate chips. This recipe calls for dark chocolate, but I happen to really like our sweet chocolate chips, or semi-sweet. So just plop these guys in and throw them in there. Maybe a little more, never hurt anybody. Now just top it up. Now we're gonna give this a stir. But because I am using milk chocolate chips, it can get just a little bit too sweet. So I'm going to cut that with a little bit of walnuts. You don't have to add nuts if you don't want to, but I want to. So I'm gonna just pour a little bit in. Just a little bit of nuts, there we go. And this salt of the nut is going to counteract the sweetness of our chocolate chips here. All right, and try not to eat it from the spoon. I know I'm bad for that, but I'm not going to in this video. Don't eat raw egg, kids. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to get our flour together. So we need to get the flour. And this recipe calls for 1 2/3 cup of self-rising flour. Now, I don't have self-rising flour, and odds are you probably don't either, but you can cheat it. So I'm going to teach you how to cheat it. So you take your 1 cup of flour here, get your cup, just sift it off, put it in your bowl, and take your 2/3, get it all in together, level it off. I'm making a mess. Level it off. And now what you do when you don't have self-rising flour is you're going to take your measuring spoon and you're going to get some baking powder. And you're going to add 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. 1½ where are you? Where are you? 1½ baking powder, and then you are going to need to put in about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Get my little salt and just plop some of that in there. And then you're going to need to stir it together. Make sure it all gets incorporated. So this is just the science behind baking. You need something that is going to activate and make this rise, because we don't have the self-rising flour. And because I like a little bit of something extra in my cookies, because I'm an extra kind of girl, I'm putting in a little bit of fine Dutch cocoa into my flour. Now, you don't have to do this. I should probably find a way to open this first. Yeah, that works. That works, you know, just get in there. So I'm going to add a 1 tablespoon of my cocoa into my flour. Little extra, little top up, because I find it gives it a nicer flavor here. So just mix it all together. Mixy, 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 mixy. So this is gonna turn like a light brown color when it's done. Just make sure it goes. And stuff is gonna fly probably out of your bowl if you're anything like me. Maybe you're neater than I am, but apparently I'm a messy cook, so that's just it, folks. I'm messy. Okay, so we are going to take this flour and we are going to slowly incorporate it into our lovely creamed mixture here. It's going to take it Just gonna slowly, like a little bit at a time, and then just mix it. I should probably have like an apron. So maybe I will invest in an apron because I look a little messy. Put some more in. There you go. Yeah, I'm a little messy, okay? I'm a little messy here. And mix it in. There you go. And then a little bit more, just plop that in. All right. We're just gonna incorporate this all together. Okay, so if you want a really fun way to incorporate. Oh, okay, my assistant here has brought me an apron. Yep, he heard the cry for help and he very obligingly brought me an apron. Thank you, handy helper. So, if you want a fun and quick way to incorporate your cookie mixture, take your hands. And you're just gonna like mush it together. I find this to be very, very therapeutic in a way. It's like, ooh. Yes, and remember your hands are clean. Remember, I've already washed them pre this video. So your hands should be super clean too. So mix it all together. Get it all nice and incorporated. So this now looks like brown sand. And I will show you right now. You don't want to over mix it, but it looks a bit like brown. But it smells so good, seriously, it smells so good. So you need to take your greased up pan. You're just going to take and make a little, almost like you're making a meatball. Like you don't want them to be too big, so just pat them in your hand. About like that, like a nice little meatball. And we are going to just lay them out. Now what you would like to do is you want to take a spoon and you want to just give that sucker a little press down. A little press down. Okay. So I'm going to do this for I can maybe get 12. This recipe will actually make 24 cookies, but you can't fit all of that in one pan. You actually have to have 2 pans. But I like to do 1 pan at a time. That way, if I end up burning the first batch, I have the second batch. Okay, there we go. So I can do probably three rows. Well, yeah, about 3, 6, 9. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this and I will come back and show you what this tray looks like when I've got all my little meatballs rolled out. So you wait there. Okay, so this is what the cookies will look like. They look like little meatballs. You want them to be evenly spaced and don't make them too large, otherwise you're gonna just mold into one large cookie. So we're gonna put this in the oven. The recipe says for about 10 minutes. So again, it's 375, put it on the middle rack, just open it up, plop these guys in, set your timer for 10 minutes, and then 10, hit start, and then in 10 minutes we're going to take them out and we will see what they look like. Although, just because we take them out doesn't mean they are ready to eat yet. These puppies have to rest for 5 minutes. So I will see you in 10 and we will see what these cookies look like. Fingers crossed. Hey kids, the beeper is going. It is time for us to take our cookies out. Put on your oven mitts. And, okay. Voila, we have cookies. Okay, they smell really good. Now remember what I said. Just because we take them out doesn't mean we get to eat them right away. So these guys need to rest for 5 minutes to get the baking pan, and then you're gonna put them on this little wire rack here. So we leave it for 5 minutes, no touchy, we leavey, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so it's been 5 minutes and I just transferred the cookies onto the wire rack and they are ready to be eaten. Now keep in mind, they look brown because of the cocoa powder that I added. Remember, you don't have to add that. I just happen to like doing it that particular way. So now, all you have to do is pour yourself a nice little glass of milk and have a bite of your cookie. So cheers guys, and I hope you enjoy making this recipe. Let me know how it turns out, and remember, it's not my recipe, it's hers, although I added a few little extra nuggets to it. So have fun guys, take care. Oh yeah. Oh, those are good. Those are real good.